Yeah, my name is Brenden McAleese. I'm the Product Director for ACG Footwear. Great question. Yeah, so this is the ACG Ultrafly, and this shoe really builds on sort of the lineage and heritage of the Ultrafly Trail, which was our super shoe for the trail. And the ACG Ultrafly gets a little bit more wild and a lot more super with this update, and we're really excited about how it's been received by our athletes. We've had a lot of athletes racing in it this week over the course of the summer and in prototypes over the last couple of years as well. So we really wanted to make sure that we were here in the valley in Chamonix for this really special moment and showing this shoe to the world and to the community. We're trialing it here, so a lot of folks have been able to run in it and experience all of the updates and benefits of this shoe, and we're really excited to bring it to the world in retail in spring 26. Yeah, I mean, we're always receiving feedback. So the ACG Ultrafly is our most tested shoe in Nike Trail or ACG history. So there's been over 13 rounds of wear testing on the shoe, and we call that a long-term wear test. So that's actually an 8-week or longer long-term wear test with athletes from around the globe of all ages and ability levels. But in particular, we really focused on this one with it being kind of our pinnacle racing model for the trails. Again, that super shoe for the trails. We've partnered very closely with our all conditions racing department athletes. So athletes like Drew Holman, who finished 3rd just yesterday, has been an integral part of this entire process from really the inception. He, among many of our other athletes, really actually challenged us or asked us the question of could we make a super shoe for the trails. We did that with, again, the ACG Ultrafly, and we're really excited about where this update has taken us. So again, 13 rounds of testing, over 30,000 miles run, so over 48,000 kilometers, and so our most tested shoe to date, and tested in those race environments, which we know is really critical. So Drew just has worn it this weekend. Caleb Olson, the Western States 100 winner, of course winning in the ACG Ultrafly prototype. He also won the Trans Gran Canaria Classic in the ACG Ultrafly prototype. And for those with a really keen eye, he was wearing a prototype in Western States of 2024 as well, where he finished 5th, which was the fastest debut time ever for that Western States course. So having our elite athletes really test and trial in a race environment gives us incredibly critical feedback that you wouldn't replicate through a training block. So even over the course of those training blocks, gearing up for a 100-mile race, you might run 35, 40 miles at most. And so being able to test it over the course of a 100-mile race really helps us fine-tune that process and product. Yeah, we're really fortunate to have amazing athletes on our all conditions racing department roster. They know what they need in their product, right? At Nike and at ACG, we always say, listen to the voice of the athlete. We put them at the center of everything we do. They're the ones who are out there racing in it and putting it through the paces in the wildest conditions. And that's what helps us fine-tune our product and our process, especially some of the athletes who are, again, racing in those high mileage environments that you can't really replicate over the course of a training block. Yep, so with production and this going live and being available for retail in spring 26, this is the final version of the ACG Ultrafly, yes.
Very, very colorful color. The orange looks more energy, I think, for the shoes.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I mean, we always offer a wide variety of choice and colorways with all of our footwear, but particularly, hopefully you'll see some photos or imagery or videos from our athletes who are racing this week. And you'll notice it just really pop off of the trails. It was very nice for us who were out on course cheering on our athletes as well. We saw some of them a good handful of times trying to give them some energy out there, and it was actually really great to be able to just spot them coming around the corner or anything, just with how bright the footwear was out there on the trails. But we will also offer a wide variety of choice for any particular style needs. Great question. I'd love to go through the technical details actually of the product. So we'll start actually with the outsole and then work our way up. So you have a Vibram light base outsole, so you get the same benefits of Mega Grip, that same trusted traction and support. We know no two steps are the same out there on the trails, and so that security and traction is incredibly important. And with the light base, you save 30% of the weight compared to using Mega Grip. We've also widened the nets in the forefoot, so you can just see how stable that platform is going to be, particularly with some technical downhill descents. So now let's move into the midsole. So we have a Zoom X midsole. So Zoom X gives you 85% energy return, and it's one of our lightest foams as well. So it's a really amazing supercritical foam. And it's actually a dual density system. So I'll show you kind of the kind of behind the scenes look, if you will, of how this system works. So we have a slightly softer core, so you're going to get that much more cushion and responsiveness underfoot, and then you have a firmer carrier. And so that adds the additional stability out there on the trails, which we know is really critical. And then we have a full-length carbon fiber split plate. So I'll show you what that looks like as well. So the plate is split down the middle, and what that allows is for some more torsional support and flexibility. So it really allows the shoe to kind of work with the terrain rather than maybe the terrain or the shoe working you. So particularly in those more technical sections, you might come across roots or rocks, varied terrain, and this again helps you move with the terrain that much more. The plate has also been reduced significantly from the predecessor in the Ultrafly Trail, and that has been received really well, particularly on ascents and descents, and with our lower bodyweight athletes. They feel like they can engage the system that much more and get that much more benefit from the plate. Then we have a textile wrap in the forefoot, and so visually it's pretty neat where it ties kind of the upper in with the tooling, but this also adds some additional stability in the forefoot, again for some of those fast downhill descents, because Zoom X is an incredibly compliant foam, so it has to compress and then rebound. That's what gives it so much energy return. So by having that textile wrap in the forefoot, it also adds that little bit of stability because it kind of constricts the movement of the foam, and so it adds a little bit more stability in the forefoot. Then moving to the upper, we have an incredibly lightweight, breathable, and durable mesh. It's also evacuates water quite quickly. We know that you're always going to encounter rivers or creeks or streams or even ice buckets and aid stations out there on the trails. And so having that be able to evacuate water quickly is really important. And you also have this dynamic screen print on the upper, which adds a pretty unique visual and also adds a little bit of structure and containment. Then we have some comfort cues in the collar and foxing. So we really wanted to focus on the overall comfort of this so it can really take you, again, that 100 miles or more. So we really focused on this being the right weight versus purely just being lightweight. And that's something we worked on really close partnership with all of our athletes. So Caleb Olson, again, the Western States 100 winner, throughout the course of that race, his win at Trans-Gran Canaria as well, he really pushed us to say, please keep this. I don't want you to change it because I need that comfort. And he was actually able to wear even the same pair of shoes over the course of that Western States 100 win, which is oftentimes pretty unique. And he attributed it to that trust and comfort that the shoe gave him. Then you have a semi-gusseted tongue, so it really hugs the foot nicely. And one adjustment as well that we're really excited about, speaking of the upper, is we're using a modified last. So it's a new last for us within the trail, within the ACG space. So you're going to have the same instep, the same drop of 8.5 mil, but you have a slightly wider forefoot and slightly higher toe box. So giving that much more accommodating fit, especially over the course of a longer race where your feet are going to swell and change in shape and size. Oh gosh, we have just an amazing group of athletes, and it truly is a team, right? We are working so closely with them, and it's really unique. I think trail athletes are incredibly unique where we have such unprecedented access because they want to partner with us, they want to collaborate, they want to help us make the best product possible. To the extent that over the course of this week, we have a over a dozen of our athletes here in the Valley, and we've been spending every day with them, sharing meals together, getting out and running on the trails together, talking product, but also just talking about life. And it really, again, with those relationships, it helps us just continue to push product forward. At Nike and at ACG, we really put the athlete at the center of everything we do and obsess all of their needs out there on the trails to help, again, make their dreams kind of a reality. And so we're super fortunate to have an incredible roster of athletes who help us push the product forward.
So Brenden, this is your first time to be here for UTMB?
No, I was here last year as well, so I feel very fortunate to have come a couple of years in a row now, which is really great. It's an amazing experience, the energy, the crowds, there's like really nothing like it, and especially spending the last couple days out on the trails cheering on our athletes as well as everyone out there has just been a really special moment. It's always an amazing time kind of in Chamonix. Yeah, absolutely. So when we talk about our testing process, so again, this went through 13 rounds of testing. So for all of those tests, we'll test in men's and women's sizes. We know that that's incredibly important. And we have a testing network around the globe. So testing with a wide variety of foot shapes and sizes, ages, and ability levels. Particularly within the trails, we know that no two trail is the same, no mountain's the same. Even depending on the conditions, the trail might be different than even the last time you ran it. And so we know it's incredibly important to test across the world with a wide diversity of athletes, and that really helps us to ensure that we're serving all athlete needs. At Nike and ACG, we say that if you have a body, you're an athlete, and so we want to make sure that we're serving everyone and that everyone can see themselves being able to wear all of our products. Yeah, it's a really good question. We know that we serve a global audience within our ACG landscape, but as I mentioned with our testing, we test specifically in China. So we have a testing team there who's making sure that we're, again, meeting the needs of our athletes on the ground in China, and we do that similarly in Europe, in North America, in Australia, really all over the world. Pretty much on every continent, of course, maybe besides Antarctica. Who knows, maybe one day. But so we're making sure that we're testing with a wide variety of athletes. And we know that the trail scene is just booming in China right now. We're really energized by it. Hopefully, many of your listeners obviously saw ACG at Chongli with that race sponsorship, and so hopefully that shows our continued investment in the community and in the sport, and we're really excited to continue to continue to grow and serve athlete needs in China. You'll learn, I'm sure, a lot more about the plans for Chongli next year, but I can guarantee that obviously I think the runners will be really wowed and inspired, hopefully on the ground there. Yeah, it's a really good question. We consider every material choice that we use in terms of sustainability, and then we also pair that with durability, because we know that if something lasts longer and you're buying less, that's also more sustainable. And so we really pay attention to all of those features across our shoes. One of the shifts that's really exciting about this is, so with this Zoom X, so this foam is actually an injected, so it comes more in preforms versus being cut out in sheet stocks. And so yes, even when you do that, then we recycle, of course, the scrap and the excess, but from a starting point, not having that additional, then call it foam waste that then we have to recycle again, and we'll use it in sock liners, we'll use it in lots of things, but it's a little bit of a sustainable shift with this foam, which we're really excited about. And of course then, as I mentioned, there's also the performance benefits also of being able to just tune that system a little bit more, of having that dual density. Yeah, I think, we are always going to obsess every little detail, and luckily with the way that we are able to work with a lot of our partners is we don't have to actually make a trade-off. So something doesn't need to, you don't sacrifice, I think, any performance for the sake of sustainability going forward. I think this foam evolution is a really great example of that, of saying, is actually helping us perform even better because we're able to tune the system and it's more sustainable. So it's more of an and proposition versus I think having to make a trade-off or a choice. And so we're really excited about all of those shifts going forward. And we really believe in sustainability at ACG and at Nike. And yeah, we're excited to continue to dive into this space. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I kind of always joke that I've been a runner my whole life. Just for the first, call it 23 years, I had to be with the ball at my feet. So I was a soccer player growing up. I played through university and for a while after university in Ireland. And then when I started at Nike, I really found a love for running, and particularly trail running. We're really fortunate in the Northwest where we live, in Beaverton, Oregon, where our world headquarters is, to have some amazing access to trails and the great outdoors. And so a number of our team are incredibly passionate about trail running, myself included. I have 2 very young kids, so a lot of my miles now are with the jogging stroller, which is also a really good workout, pushing all that extra weight around. And so it's a space that many of our team is just incredibly passionate about. We're really like of and from the sport, and it helps us, again, fine-tune all those details. It's pretty amazing. Some of the product managers on our team ran professionally for Nike for quite a while, and so they're able to even train with some of our elite runners from the All Conditions Racing Department. Just a couple days ago, they were out on the trails here in Chamonix and did like a 40-mile run and a new prototype that we're working on as well. And so being able to get that real-time feedback is just so incredibly important, and again helps build those relationships with athletes too. So yes, incredibly passionate about running trails, and who knows, maybe I'll try to run in the valley here one of these years too.
Yes, probably we're gonna see you in the next year for the Chongli, right? You can run any kind of category you want, because I think Chongli we have the biggest runners in China for the races.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So thank you for your time, thank you for Blendy, and we're really looking forward the next version for Nike ACG. And,
thanks for the time.
Thank you. Hope to see you in China.
Yes,
very soon.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.